Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. This is another video in the series of fixing up an old truck, and today's video I'm going to be replacing the rear leaf springs and the rear shocks on this truck. I'll go ahead and show you. I've already replaced the passenger side leaf spring, as I wanted to be kind of familiar and kind of know, kind of get it to look like I know what I'm doing, so I don't look like a complete fool. But I'll go ahead and show you the new one, and then we'll go to the other side. I'll get the wheel off, get the old leaf spring off, get the new leaf spring on, get everything torqued up and the wheel back on, and you get to watch that process. Overall, it's pretty straightforward. You'll see me using a couple of tools that you probably, wouldn't see, like a 2-foot adjustable wrench, a spud wrench, sledgehammer, and a couple other things just to get the leaf springs lined back up. I'm sure there are procedures and proper ways to do this. This way worked the best for me. It didn't take me too long to do. It took me about an hour to, from start to finish. So the other side should be just the same. The side that I'm going to be working on, that you're going to be watching me work on, has a gas tank. I'm not sure if that's going to be in the way, but we will see. Let's get started. So there's the pretty new black leaf spring installed. I kept all the original bolts because they were pretty good shape, and I changed out the U-bolts. I'm not sure if you can see that. Hopefully you can. But I got new U-bolts. So pretty much I just got a new leaf spring and 2 new U-bolts per side. These bolts are the same. Now let's move to the other side. Very quickly, I want to explain something. The reason I say very quickly is because I removed the jack stand. For this part, to get this leaf spring lined back up, I just bolted, I got those bolted on and lined up or whatever, and I left them bolts loose. I'm going to torque everything last. I got it snug enough to where it's not rocking around, but I let the bolts loose enough that I could manipulate it if I need to, and which you'll need to. And then I put this plate on, made sure it was, with the alignment pin, made sure the alignment pin on the bottom of the shaft was, connected with the leaf springs, and I tightened these down, and you can kind of see I also left these loose so that I can manipulate things if I needed to, which you will. And over here, this is going to be in an angle because of the way I have that jack on the frame and this jack on the axle. And I got wheel chocks and all that type of stuff. It's not going anywhere. If it does, it would take some force. But anyways, I used a spud wrench to get that started lined up. And you will have to manipulate this jack and that jack depending on which way. I mean, if you do start doing this, you'll kind of get what's going on. A lot of people have problems with this, getting these lined back up. And a lot of people also do that one first and then work their way backwards because that's kind of flexible. But in my case, I have more room right here. So I just decided to go this way forward. Either way, it's still kind of a pain in the butt, and you're gonna have some struggles getting everything lined up, but you can do it if you have the right tools. That spud wrench, I rarely use it, but when I do, it's a lifesaver. What I'll do, and I'll show you the wrench. If you don't know what a spud wrench is, you can Google it, but I'll show it to you. It's got a tapered end on it, and if you can get it started in the small of the hole, you can just tap the end of it with a mallet, rubber mallet. Don't use steel or anything, it'll mess it up. And so use rubber mallet, tap it in, get it started, and then it'll self-align. And you can stick your finger on the other side, and you'll feel the tip of the wrench going in. And you can kind of this end, just angle it where it needs to go to make it through the other side of the hole, and just tap it on through. And then you see that little bolt right there. I'm gonna put it on this side and then start removing the spud wrench while I'm pushing that little bolt in, and then I'll be able to get my original bolt and push it through. I just kind of sorry guys, I just drank a bunch of coffee and ate cookies, but I just want to kind of explain what was going on before, you know, because it looks a lot easier than it is on camera, especially if you've never done this before. If you've never done this before, you're gonna say a lot of cuss words, I promise. I think I covered everything. Oh yeah, I also used I'm going to use this crowbar, and I have an adjustable pry bar. I have lots of pry bars. These are two I chose. And also to manipulate it, if you have to, you can kind of stick it up in there in that corner and angle the leaf spring in whichever way you need to. And I also have, see that 2-foot, let me grab it, I'll just show you how to knock the truck over on top of myself. That'd be lots of fun, wouldn't it? I use this wrench to go on these leaf springs, because you can tilt it toward you or away from you, and it will help you align the leaf spring for the holes. Hope that makes sense. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said I have a bunch of random tools that probably normally people don't use. I mean, maybe they do, but I've never seen them. But anyways, let's get that lined up, bolt it on. I'll get the bolt through, and then we'll torque everything up, and we'll be done with this leaf spring. Before I get the rest of this bolt in, I want to kind of show you what I've got going on here. This is the parking brake cable, and I had to hold this with my hand. There's a lot of tension on it, and then I had to get this adjustable wrench right here and hold it with my leg so I could get the right angle. And on the back side, I hope you can see this. I'm gonna try to get you in here. Is it my finger? Yep. Can you see this bolt right here? I got it lined up and pushed this bolt. This bolt is a little bit smaller than the bolt I'm trying to put in. So I got this bolt all the way in to get this side of the leaf spring lined up. Once I got that lined up, I was able to get this started, and I had to hold this. It was a difficult angle for me to film, so that's why I didn't. But I got this bolt started in. I'm going to tap it the rest of the way in with a hammer, and as I tap this in, it'll force the bolt back here out, and hopefully it will self-align, and then I can just torque everything down. This side was a pain in the butt because of this parking brake. I just ate macaroni and cheese and chicken, and that's why I'm coughing. So I've been eating a lot today. It's not a good thing when you're under a car scrunched up like this. But anyways, like I said, I'm gonna just tap the rest of this in, and then I'll be able to torque everything down. Hopefully that lines up just fine, and I don't have a whole bunch of problems. All right, so I got the bolt in all the way, and I stopped. I want to show you something else. When I started tapping the bolt in, the little bolt I just showed you on the back popped out, and it kind of misaligned. So what I did, and if you have someone helping you, you don't need to do all this, but I'm doing all this by myself. So what I did was get my adjustable wrench, and I put a jack right here, and I was able to put my finger back in there and kind of feel where it needed to go. This needed to move up because that needed to move down, and I was able to just jack with the handle while I was feeling back there. And once I did that, I was able to tap the bolt the rest of the way in. Now all we need to do is torque everything down, and we will be finished with this leaf spring. got everything torqued down. The leaf springs are good to go on this truck, and you'll want to go back and check the torque of all the bolts after some time, maybe a couple 100 miles, or maybe every 100 miles, whatever you want to do. You need to check the torque also on your vehicle if you decide to do this. On those two back there, it was 100 foot-pounds. On those four, it was 100 foot-pounds. And on that one, it was 200 foot-pounds. I don't know if you've ever tried to do anything at 200 foot-pounds with a short torque wrench like I was using, but this tiny little area, it was not the easiest thing to do. It wasn't the hardest thing to do, but it wasn't the easiest. Let's get this wheel back on, and then I'll crawl under there and replace those two shocks right quick. It won't take long at all to do that. You can see the nice new shock on the passenger side over there. I went ahead and replaced it because there was a bunch of stuff in the way and it would have been more difficult for you to see what I was doing. Versus over here, everything's pretty wide open except for the spare tire. I already got a wrench up there. Obviously, you'll probably be using a different size wrench, but there's a nut on top of these shocks that you can put your wrench on, and then you go around to the top side. Hopefully you can see that with a socket, and you can get your socket in there and loosen that up, and that'll get you off the top. And as far as the bottom, you literally, I've already got my socket here and my wrench here. You literally just take that bolt out. I'll be taking the bottom out first, letting the shock extend all the way, and then I can go up there and break that one loose without problem. Alright, so we got that one in, everything torqued. On the bottom, on the bottom screw right here, the torque for me, and like I said, it's going to be different on your car. The torque here was 50 foot-pounds, and up there, the manual for this specific shock said there is no torque limit, you just tighten it until that seal looks like that on the top and bottom. And I did the same thing there as I did. Oh my goodness, can you see? Yes, I did the same thing there that I did right here. Like I said, about 50 foot-pounds, the bottom one. And wow, between the leaf springs and these shocks, I can already tell a difference. See, the truck was sagging, and this corrected that big time, because now when you jump on it, you know, when you jump on the tailgate, it hardly moves at all. So that's going to be nice. I'm gonna see if I can show you up in there. You can kind of see right there. It's kind of a pain getting to this. I've worked on other vehicles and they're a lot easier than this one was. I have ratcheting wrenches, and a ratcheting wrench will only click once or twice. That's why I used a swivel head ratchet to get down in there, and I had it at a funky angle, and was able to get it to work. But this project's finished up. I'm happy, and I'm excited to go drive it now to see how much better it rides. got the truck pulled out of the shop and I checked everything. You know, I let the tailgate down and bounced on it all over the place, and it's moving like that much, where before it was moving more than that. I mean, before when I sat in it to drive it, the entire truck would sit to the side. So now when I bounce up and down on it, it hardly moves. So that's great. That's good news. The new leaf springs and shocks really helped it out. Mainly the leaf springs. The shocks will improve the ride, but it's not going to improve the sagging. The leaf springs corrected that. But I hope you guys got something out of it. I knew it wasn't as informative as most of my other videos. There was a lot of stuff to do, and those shocks, one of the shocks, the one near the muffler that I didn't record, that thing was stuck. It took me like an hour to get that thing off. It was just rusted on. The leaf springs on the right side as well. I don't know what it was about the right side, but it didn't cooperate too good. The left side went pretty smooth, but the right side did not. Not sure why. Doesn't make much sense, but that's how it went. I hope you guys got something out of it. I appreciate you guys checking it out. In the next video, I'm gonna do the transmission fluid, the filter, and the rear end, the differential fluid. So transmission fluid, filter, and differential fluid. And I don't think I have much more to do. There's a couple of odds and ends. I did a couple of things that I didn't record, and I might do an overview of that just to kind of give you an idea of what I've done. The engine was squeaking really bad when I turned it on, when I turned the engine on. And it was the belt tensioner, and it needed a new belt. The belt was kind of cracked too, but it was mainly the belt tensioner. It just was not working well at all. So I put a new belt tensioner and a new belt, and the reason I didn't record that is because there was literally that much room. There wasn't enough room for me to put the camera to where you could see anything that was happening. So I recorded it, and it was because you could not see anything. I had lights on and all this type of stuff, but you just couldn't see because there's not much room. And I also changed the stabilizer bar. There's stabilizer bar, but let me go get those. I'm gonna walk over here and grab them, because those things were in really bad shape. When you drove down the road, the truck, you could actually hear bolts bouncing around, and this is what I replaced. I mean, there's supposed to be bushings at each end of this. I'll go show you right quick, but I'll make a separate video explaining what I did and all that, but it's bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and go show you. So you see the new black bolt with the blue bushings right there? That's what I replaced. Anyways, guys, enough talking. Hope you guys got something out of it. Hope you learned something. These jobs are not that bad. You can work on your own cars, save a lot of money. I got most of my parts off of eBay, Amazon, and Rock Auto. Rock Auto has better prices, but the issue with them is shipping costs is fairly high versus like eBay. Normally it's free shipping because it's competitive on there. But anyways, guys, hope you guys got something out of it. Appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you in the next one.